Craving afternoon tea with a Gothic vibe? This romantic Edinburgh hideaway promises luxury, atmosphere, and indulgence. But is the actual experience as magical as the setting? Let's find out. This is the Witchery. If you're looking for afternoon tea with a serious side of drama, the Witchery, Edinburgh's most famous Gothic hotel and restaurant, might just be the most romantic spot in the city. This was my third trip to Edinburgh, and the only time I've successfully booked a reservation at the Witchery. If you're already in town when you're watching this, you might be out of luck. I recommend booking weeks or even months in advance. Tucked just outside the gates of Edinburgh Castle, at the top of Royal Mile, the Witchery is known for its opulent Gothic interiors, antique woodwork, candlelight, and the feeling you've stepped into a scene from a historical drama, which you kind of have. The building dates back to 1595. It's not your typical Victorian tea room, and that's exactly the point. Afternoon tea is £50 per person and is only served on weekdays between 3 and 4 p.m. They do also serve lunch and dinner, so if you're more interested in the atmosphere, you have more options. I filmed this on a rather windy day in June, and according to their website, they don't actually serve afternoon tea during July and August, or the week of Christmas, so that's worth keeping in mind when you're making travel plans. Tea is served in 2 different rooms, the original candlelit ornate dining room, or this, the secret garden room, which had a lovely atmosphere. You have a choice of 8 different teas, which I would have shown you here, except that they snatched the menu away from me almost as soon as I sat down, so I wasn't able to film it. I'll link it below. I had their Earl Grey. Their tea service had a nice mix of sweet and savories, and they get points for their scones, tea tray, and perfect silver teapot. But the actual experience of tea at the Witchery was incredibly disappointing. My waiter told me when he took my tea order I could try a second tea later on if I wanted, and then he never came back. In fact, nobody checked on me for over an hour. I wanted to order a cocktail and wasn't able to. And there were plenty of wait staff, but I found it nearly impossible to flag anybody down, and by the time I did, I was ready to leave. One thing to be aware of if you're visiting the UK from North America, you don't have one assigned waiter. If you need something, you basically just flag down anyone you can. And if you're waiting for the person who took your original order, you may never actually see them again. Final thoughts. I liked everything about the Witchery except the service, and I think if you know what to expect or you're not on your own like I was, you may have a better experience. I love a Gothic tea party, so I would probably go there again, and it's definitely a romantic place for a date or a special evening. Subscribe for more content like this. And what's your favorite place in Edinburgh? Let me know in the comments below.